Alright guys, in today's video we're going to be looking at the easiest, like the method to cut an Iro and Buba, this Yoruba traditional wear, as you can see in the picture right in the video. So this is the 5 yards, this fabrics that I'm going to be using, and so let's dive in. The first thing I want to do is to take out the yards for the wrapper, which is going to be the wrapper, we call it Iro, and that will be 2.5. I'll be cutting that out before I proceed to cutting the bodies. Just the way to cut it is just to measure 2.5 inches. If it is 2 inches, some people they don't like the wrapper to be too big. Some people they got bigger hips. For okay, I'll normally do, for my measurement I use 2 times of the hips measurements. Yes, in most cases 2 types of the hip measurement. Like take for instance, my hips is 44, 42, 44 times 2 will give me like 48, sorry, 88. So sometimes I round it up to be 90 inches, so it's good. You can use 2 of the hip measurement, and then depending, some will tell you they don't want it to be big, so you've got to determine that. So let's cut, guys. Alright, to cut it, I'll just quickly show you. I don't want the video to be too long. So here is the fabric, like I said. So I'll go about cutting my 2.5 inches. That's 36. Each of the yard is 30. Yeah, 36. So you just want to go ahead. 136. Another 36. 36, 36, and then half, which will be 18 inches. So that's what I'm going to cut out, guys. And this person's hip is around, our hip is around 48, if I'm right. Yeah, I don't always want it to be too big. So, and there's going to be a rope which you can attach. So I've gone ahead now to cut out the wrapper. And that's it, guys. 2.5 inches. I'll confirm that again to be sure I'm not holding the other one, the remaining part. Sometimes you can just one yard, another yard quickly, then the half, which is 18 inches. That's what I have it, 18 inches. So that is it. So I'll put that aside. Then grab the other one. Now we want to dive into cutting. Cut the buba. You want to place, first thing you want to determine the length of your client. For this person, she normally wears 25, 26. Yeah, there are times 27. So which is okay for her height. But firstly, because of the edge of the lace, which is the selvage, I'm going to fold it this way. There are different ways to cut it. This is one of the ways. 2 different ways I cut mine. If your client wants the lace edge to be there, you want to firstly determine the length of the blouse. And to do that, will this be enough? You want to check, like from the selvage, you can see here, to the folding. You know, we folded it into 2. So this, we have 24, which is short. It's a kind of short one. So we're not going to be going by this, because if you have to go by this, that means you want to cut extra pieces of fabric to add at the tip. So I'm not going to be using this method. I have to use another method. If your client's length, the length of the buba is 24, 23, 24, then you can go ahead to use this, which is perfect. And then which way is the best way to do that? I want to do it this way. If I didn't make the length is enough, I'll just go ahead and fold it again into like this. fold it like this. Can you see that? Go ahead and fold it that way. Then I'll take the measurement. What do I have? What have I measured on the client? The width of the buba. So you want to make sure you just fold it that way. I will go up about cutting it this way. But then for this one, I'm not going to be using this method because the length is not long enough, and she's not keen on a blouse having this kind of, you know, the lace edge at the tip. For clients that are not keen on that, I'm going to be using this particular method. You can as well use this second method I'm going to use now, and all you need to do is to cut a little part of this lace edge and join it to it. But for this particular person, she's not keen about this having there because she's going to be, the wrapper is going to go on top of it. So we're going to be using the other method. This is one method you can use at it being that the length, if the length were to be enough, like 24, we can go by this. But I'm going to be showing you the other method. Let's dive in. What's the method is, you want to just go ahead the same way we got our wrapper. Just measure. The client's length of our blouse is 26. She can wear 26, she can wear 27. So I'll go ahead and measure 2 of that with some extra inches, because by the time you'll be folding it, so that you don't have shortage. Like I said, she can wear 26, 27. Let's take it as 27. So I'm going to be adding 2 inches extra to make it 29. So I'm measuring 229. This is 129. And at this point, I'm going to be measuring another 29. Double of that. You want to measure double of the length to measure your client with extra. Oops, battery came off. So we need to start again. 29, 29. So this is 129, and this is another 29. So I'll just quickly go ahead and do that. And just cut that out. So the remaining will be for scarf, but let's see. So 29, 29. Watch with me, guys. Okay, see what I'm doing? Just fold it together and cut it straight like this. So the scarf aside. The next thing you want to do is to hold it this way. Can you see that? Hold it together, bring it together like this, the edge together, and then we go by this. Once you bring it together, you can see it. You already brought it together this way, and having these parts plain, this plain parts, and then the next thing you want to do is to fold it like this, so that you can cut out the body. Can you see what I'm doing? So with this, we'll be able to cut out the body. If you want the lace edge to be at the tip, you can just leave that part out. How do I mean? Fold it. Go ahead and fold it. Ensure you have enough to cover the body. The biggest part of our measurement for the body is happens to be our bust, which is roughly 46. 46 into 2 will be like 11 and a half. So this is what we have here. But because it's kind of a buba, it has to be free, not fitted. So I'm going to be adding 2 inches extra. So I'll mostly round it up to be like 13 inches. Yeah, I can even use 12.5 for her, but let me use 13 inches so that it will not be too tight on her. And yeah, so let's see. I've gone ahead to fold it again. You want to make sure you pin it down. Make sure you pin it down. It's very important. Make sure you pin it down. Pin it down. Pin it down, guys. So just go ahead to just pin it down this way. Make sure you secure it down with a pin. And the next thing I want to do is to measure. Like I said, I'm going to be using 13 inches for her. One quarter of our bust measurement is 11.5, right? I can as well use 12.5 for it to be fine, but I'll just go by 13 inches And aside from the 13 inches, I'll be adding 1 inch sewing allowance. So you can use 3.5, but I love using 1 inch. So everything together will be 14 inches. So I'll measure 14 inches all the way down. 14 inches like this. Okay, you see that 14 inches. That's what I'm going to be measuring. 14 inches all the way down. Can you see that all the way down? All the way down. Whatever you measure up, you measure it all the way down. That's the standard Buba. But there are some that you can as well reduce it from here, but this is just the standard one. So the next thing I want to do before putting on the neckline is just go ahead and put this out. If I was going to add the lace edge to it, I can just go ahead and join it. If you want to add it, to make sure you have some inches so that you don't go too close to the edge. But then I don't really think this is necessary. Yeah. So we have the body cut out, as you can see, and this particular part you want to make sure that you notch it, because there's a need for that. That's the shoulder side here where you'll be joining the sleeve. Very important to notch it. And then after notching, you also just go about to measure. And neckline I use 3.5 for a standard. For somebody that is any measurements above 40, yeah, depending on how big. Some people will tell you they don't want the neck to be wide. Some people will tell you they want it to be wide. So you need to measure it. And then 3.5 by 5 inches. That's what I'll be using. 3.5 by 5 inches. Then you get the cuff. And that's the body done. That's the body done for you. On this part, I love to come up at it because we'll be bending the down beats, and we need to check is the down beats equal. You see, is the down beat, check it together. The reason why I say you should add extra inches is sometimes it's even much okay this way, not too bad. Sometimes you can have some parts not equal with the other one, so you just want to trim it. Can you see that? And we check again the length to have there. Let's recheck the length. We measured 29, and which we need 27. Let's see what we have here. Can you see? It's even adding up to 27. Even measuring that. So you want to be careful, which is not too bad. That's why it's important to add extra inches. It's important to add. I added 2 inches extra, and I see I arrived at 27. Sleeve now quickly. The body that we just got now, we have the select. From there you'll be able to get your sleeve. Yeah, from that. And another thing you need to consider is this. You can see the edges, they are not equal, so you want to make sure you place them to be equal, or else one edge is going to be different from the other. And you will have some clients that are always perfectionists like that. They always put eye on that, like, oh, the both sleeve are not the same. I've done this sometimes ago. They always say, oh no, both sleeve does not align. One is up here, the other one. But you don't want to understand it's the shape. But then it is your own responsibility, your own duty to make sure it's equal. Check out that's very important. Very, very. So for the sleeve, for what I measured on is 24, all from back. Okay, I didn't remember to say that. Center back to the length. The basic required measurements, I think I did not mention this, is that you will be needing the body, which is the biggest part. And make sure you add some allowances, maybe 1 inch on both or 2 inches. 1 inch should be fine though. And then another thing you want to measure is the length, how long you want it. And thirdly, you will measure the sleeve from the center back up to the desired sleeve length. So for the person it's just 24, which will be around here. And I already have 13 inches for the body. Remember we measure 14 here, 1 inch for the sewing allowance. 13 minus 24 will give us 11. So I'll be measuring 11 inches here plus 1 inch sewing allowance. 11 plus 1 inch sewing allowance. 11. So that'll be 12 inches, as you can see. Then for the width, our width is going, I'm making it 11 for her. And then yes, 11, then plus 1 inch allowance. This is just perfect. We have 12 here. So we're just going to use everything we have here. I'm going to confirm that again. This is just perfect. Plus sewing allowance, 1 inch sewing allowance. And that is just what we have. This is even have here. Can you see that? So I'm going to cut this So guys, that is everything we need. And another thing, one more thing before. One more thing is just to make sure you notch, like I said, you need to notch this part. That starts from here. Where the joining is, just like we have this one here, where it will be joined to the body. You want to make sure you measure, you notch it that way. And that is everything we need. The body, the sleeve, the wrapper, and that is it, guys. I will see you in my next video where I will be showing you the tips on how to turn the neckline with cotton bias and how to join the body. It's so simple.